I have been censored, like you've seen on a lot of these alternative news sites have been censored recently by, have discovered they've been censored recently by YouTube. I have known I've been censored for about 8 years, about not almost a little bit over 8 years. In any case, on my YouTube channel, because I would videotape, I would upload segments from my television show, my live talk show in Oregon on cable access, and I'd upload it onto YouTube. And some of the topics that I would upload were very controversial. This is my YouTube screen, and I want to show you my blogs. I've got several blogs. And so I'd like to encourage you, this is what I'm going to do now. And this is what I recommend to all the alternative news sites, is since they're censoring you on YouTube and they're not letting you monetize and put commercials in your YouTube videos that you work hard on, most of you have a website. So I would embed them on your website and then direct all the people that would like to find your latest news updates to your website to watch the videos. And still keep them on YouTube, but don't put any commercials on it. This is one of them, Conservative Crew. Conservative Crew is where I would like you to go to. This is what we're going to have to do as a solution to these rhinos and these Democrats that are stopping Donald Trump from doing what he needs to do, because they know they're getting reelected in perpetuity because the elections are rigged. Okay, it's much harder for them to rig the primaries than it is the generals. So we need to do several things. We need to get people to really get out and vote during the primaries. We need to get candidates that are truly conservative and truly will work with Donald Trump and will work on the best interest of their constituents instead of the best interests of their pocketbooks. And then I'm going to place them on this. I have done this in the past on my Conservative Crew. We will nominate them. We're kind of like a pre-primary to help us primary out people like Paul Ryan, and that are doing great damage and are being obstructionists and are not living up to their campaign promises because they know they're going to get reelected again because of the election fraud. I moved here to Kansas City because I thought they weren't fixing the elections like they are in Oregon, but they are here too. They just have it go by a different name. They're disguised. What they did in the last primary is they put a whole bunch of liberal Democrats, because they knew that the census shows that everybody's conservative. So they put a whole bunch of liberal Democrats in to run in the primary. They primaried out the conservatives. And so now we have, for all intents and purposes, a Democrat-controlled state legislature in Topeka. So because they ran as Republicans and they won. And I can show you on this is what Greg Good, who lost in the primary to a rhino that needs to be replaced. His name is Kevin Yoder. I volunteered on his campaign, worked hard for him, went to his town hall meeting, and learned that he is exactly the worst kind of career politician and rhino, doing what's in the best interest of his pocketbook and not what's in the best interest of Kansas. With the Johnson County, that's like one of the most wealthy counties in the country, and it's the wealthiest county in Kansas by far. And so he wins this 64% to 36%. He wins Wyandotte County, which is probably one of the poorest counties in the state of Kansas. Neighbors Johnson County is a suburban county for Kansas City, Kansas. Is either in Johnson County or it's in Wyandotte County. Then south of Johnson County is this little teeny county called Miami County. And if you notice from the last election, the reason Donald Trump won is because they only rig the large counties. They don't rig the small counties. So they rigged the Johnson County clearly. They clearly rigged the Wyandotte County. As you notice, it's like cattywampus. 69% to 31% for Kevin Yoder in the big Wyandotte County, 64% to 36% in the big Johnson County area. And in Miami County, little teeny one, it's completely opposite, cattywampus. 62% for Greg Good and 38% for Kevin Yoder. Now, I know it's a lot smaller county, and they'll tell you, oh, well, smaller counties don't go. Well, the reason is because they don't rig the smaller counties. They only rig the larger counties. And that was Hillary Clinton's big mistake. Big mistake. You can sum up the entire victory of Donald Trump to a picture of the Amish guy in the horse and buggy driving away from the voting polls. It's the people from the small towns, the small communities who were absolutely terrified of Hillary Clinton that came out and voted in droves and completely screwed up their metrics on how they needed to rig the elections. They rigged the elections using the electronic voting machines contrived and devised by Chuck Hagel. He developed them in the 90s when he went back to, after being in Washington, D.C. for 20 years, probably a total insider, and rigged his first election for U.S. Senate against the ex-term limited out popular governor Ben Nelson. Makes no marketing sense. You don't have a candidate come out of nowhere. Nobody knows who he is. They hadn't voted for a Republican senator for years, and he beats the ex-very popular governor. Nobody knows who he is. Okay, so they've rigged the elections using these electronic voting machines. They can rig them, and if you look on this is a video that I'll show you a little bit about it. So what happens is you'll vote, you'll put down Greg Good, and then you'll think you voted for Greg Good. Then you leave, and then when the tape comes out and on the memory card, they've rigged it so it gives a vote to Kevin Yoder. So Kevin Yoder wins. Or in all the other parts of the country, they voted for Donald Trump. It told them they voted for Donald Trump on the machine, but when the end of the day comes and they spit out the tape and the memory cards, they will show that you actually voted for Hillary Clinton. This has got to stop. That's how it works. And so you can see that kind of information on that blog, Conservative Crew. Now let's go to Conservative Lisa. This is my oldest blog. ConservativeLisa.blogspot.com for those of you on Periscope that might be watching this. Watch this video. This video takes you through and shows you this video that I did in 2008. A few weeks after a fellow by the name of Barack Obama was elected to president, I started hearing rumors that he might not perhaps be a U.S. citizen. I thought, how ridiculous. Of course he's got to be a U.S. citizen. Somebody at the Democrat Party or at the Federal Elections Commission must have checked him out to make sure he fits the requirements of the Constitution. Oh, but I was so wrong. And so I made this video. I dressed up. I thought it'd be kind of funny. It was around Halloween, or I'd done now. Around Halloween, I dressed up like Sarah Palin. I had darker hair and I put the oil frame glasses. I don't even look all like her. I've got blue eyes and everything. But so I kind of dressed up a little bit like Sarah Palin. And then the guy looked a lot like John McCain. Poor guy. He passed away of a rare cancer. He was my co-host on it. And we went through chapter and verse. Took 3 different segments on my video, 3 different videos, because I can only do like 10 minutes at that time. And we went through all the reasons why he might not be a natural-born citizen, and maybe those electors back in 2008 should look into this before they go and make him our president, fraudulently, usurper in chief. And I went through all of it, and it was going viral. And pretty soon after, within a few days or a week, they shut down the views. They shut down the views, and you can see in this video that's on this blog posting that if you do a search in YouTube and just put in Obama not a natural born citizen, mine is the very first video that comes up. And it says there are 40, when I did this video, it said there are 42,100 something, whatever, videos that were created that answer, that would be, that would respond to that search, right? For Obama, non-natural born citizen. 42,000 of them. And I'm number 1. Yet it still has like 20,000 views. After 8 years on a topic that's that popular, it only has 20,000 views. And not only did that get bad, but it also got bad in that what they were doing is they were not allowing me to, my comments were going gangbusters. I think I had like 500 comments, and I was trying to respond to them and stuff like that underneath the video. And then they stopped allowing me to comment on my own video or let anybody else add any more comments. And they weren't letting me do all sorts of stuff. So the only way I could even do anything that they still allowed me to do was to put anything about my description of the video. Total censorship. So that's how they've been censoring me for 8 or 9 years. But then in the last year, I've noticed they've been doing it for everyone. And I've got several different video channels. They've been doing it for every one of my video channels. on every video that I put up. They'll let me have like 6 or 8 or 10 or 12 or 15, usually less than 50 views, and then you'll watch the video and you won't see a new view, and we'll stay at 48 or whatever. And you'll go watch another one and it'll come back. Anyway, bottom line is they're censoring it. So what I did is I want to let you know I'm in the advertising business, been in the advertising business for a very long time. And I know how media is bought. I know why it's bought. And I know the metrics that they use, the average quarter hour, the ratings, all of that, and how they're doing it now, which they'll pay for a certain number of impressions. Once they reach that impressions, and they don't have to run your ad anymore because they've run the ad enough times to get a certain amount of impressions. Well, see, the deal is, since they're denying me the views, they have to pay me. If I have an ad in my video, they have to pay me, I think it's $100 worth of views. They have a metrics on how much they pay me per 1,000 views or per whatever. And then if I make in any 1 month $100 or more, then they have to cut me a check and send it to me. Okay, I've been doing this for 8 years. I've only gotten 2 checks. And they were for like and the minimum they pay you is $100. I got them for like $105, $103. So that, because they're not saying that people are watching my videos. And they're just locking down. They're freezing it. So I finally got through to somebody to complain about it, and they wrote me back, and they sent me a link to this little page. Isn't this interesting that I pasted it right here, and you can take a direct look at it there. They are justifying not giving me these views of people that are actually watching it by saying that they're not human views. They're just robots that watched it. But they could do that, and then they could defraud. They're defrauding me of my revenue as providing content that they can put ads on that they can get money for. But they could be turning around and have a different hidden kind of shadow in their algorithms to where they can still charge the advertiser for every impression, for every time they see the video. So there could be thousands of people watching my video, seeing the ads, and those ads that are in there being charging those advertisers. Google could charge those advertisers for all those impressions, all those people doing it, but not have to pay me for allowing them to be able to have the ad in my content that's drawn the viewer to my video. So to heck with it. I demonetize. If you want to watch any of my videos, there are no commercials on them. You can find out all this great information about election fraud and all sorts of stuff. And you don't have to watch any commercials, because I'm not going to let them charge advertisers for impressions that they're not paying me for. And I'm assuming they're doing, I'm not alone in this. I can't imagine that I've got a pretty big ego, strong sense of self, but I can't imagine they're not just doing this to me, but they're doing it to other people around the internet that are trying to be, especially in the alternative news organizations, businesses that are out there. So from now on, my new solution is I'm going to, just like I did in this one, I'm embedding the video inside my blog so you can still watch all my content. And if you'd be so kind, there's this little button down here where you could donate like $5 or $3 or something to help me. And then I could start pumping this stuff out like you wouldn't believe, because I have a journalism degree. I called it the unreported news when I used to do my TV show in Oregon. I just would see all this stuff that wasn't being reported by the mainstream media, and it was horrifying. There's all sorts of stuff out there that we, the people, need to know. And you're not going to find it on any of the fake stream media. So, check it out. So you've got conservative, here it is, write this down. Conservative Crew. This is the site that we're going to try to take out the rhinos and the Democrats by primarying them out, by getting true conservatives and updating you on the latest news and endorsing them. Conservative Crew, endorse. They've been gaming the system. We need to game them right back. And then Conservative Lisa is my blog. Accountability News, live with Lisa Michaels. Thank you so much for your time, and God bless you all.